What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel where suburban tyrants meet their match. Before we get into today's wild tale, a quick question. Where in the world are you watching from? Drop your city and state in the comments below. It's always cool to see how far this community reaches. Alright, let's set the scene. Picture a pristine suburban street. Manicured lawns. Quiet. Except for the happy, playful bark of a dog chasing a tennis ball. Now picture a woman, phone pressed to her ear, her face twisted with self-righteous fury. Yes, officer, it's a menace, a clear and present danger. I fear for the children. That's the sound of HOA President Brenda Shackleford making the biggest mistake of her life. She thought she was reporting a vicious animal. What she was actually doing was committing defamation and filing a false police report on camera against a litigation attorney's family. What this Karen didn't know was that the friendly, goofy Labrador she was slandering belonged to Ben and Olivia Carter. And Ben Carter didn't just know the law. He made his living eviscerating corporations and corrupt officials in court for a living. That $500 fine she was trying to levy, it was about to turn into a six-figure lawsuit, the loss of her real estate license, and a very public humiliation that would be settled not in an HOA meeting, but in a court of law. What would you do if your neighbor tried to have your family dog taken away and destroyed because they didn't like the sound of it playing? Leave your honest thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one. Now. Let's meet our hero. Ben Carter, 38, was a partner at Sterling and Reed, a firm known for taking on complex, high-stakes civil litigation. He was the guy corporations hired when they needed to sue other corporations for breach of contract worth millions. His mind was a trap, calibrated to find logical fallacies and procedural errors. In court, he was known for a calm, methodical, and utterly devastating style. At home, in the quiet Willow Creek estates, he was just a dad, with a bad dad joke habit, and a deep love for his two girls, and their dog, Sunny. Sunny was a 5-year-old yellow Labrador, whose greatest crimes were stealing socks, snoring too loudly, and possessing a tail that was a lethal weapon to any coffee table within a 3-foot radius. He'd been a gift for their eldest daughter, Emma, after a tough year adapting to a cross-country move. Sunny was the heart of their home. His joyful barking in the backyard was the soundtrack of their evenings, a sound that signaled pure, uncomplicated happiness. Their antagonist was Brenda Shackleford. At 55, Brenda was the undisputed queen of Willow Creek Estates. A successful realtor, she'd leveraged her expertise in property values into the HOA presidency. She didn't just enforce the rules, she embodied them. Her uniform was head-to-toe Lululemon, her chariot a white Lexus RX, and her mission was to eradicate any threat to the neighborhood's aesthetic harmony, which, in her mind, included children's toys left on lawns for more than 5 minutes, non-beige paint colors, and the audibility of joy itself. Brenda's motive wasn't just control, it was financial. A perfect, silent, toy-free neighborhood was easier to sell. Every home she sold in Willow Creek meant a double commission for her agency. She wasn't just protecting property values, she was protecting her personal revenue stream by any means necessary. The first shot across the bow arrived not with a bang, but with the quiet asterisk, thwomp asterisk, of a certified letter hitting the Carter's welcome mat. Notice of violation, Willow Creek. Estates HOA violation. Section 4.12. Nuisance animals. Details. Persistent, disruptive barking, constituting a noise nuisance. Fine. $500, plus $50 per day until compliance is verified. Ben read it at the kitchen island, a frown on his face. Olivia, a freelance graphic designer who worked from home, looked over his shoulder. Barking? Sunny? He barks when he's playing fetch, for like 5 minutes. This is ridiculous, Ben said, his legal mind already switching into analysis mode. A nuisance requires something unreasonable. A dog barking during daylight hours while playing in its own fenced yard is not unreasonable. His first move was the reasonable one. He emailed the HOA management company, CCing Brenda. It was polite, professional, and airtight. Dear HOA, Board. We are in receipt of the violation notice. Ref#WC 781. We believe this notice was issued in error. Our dog, Sunny, is a family pet who is let into our backyard for brief periods of play and exercise. Any vocalization is brief, occurs during permissible hours, as per County Noise Ordinance, 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., and is not persistent. We have spoken with our immediate neighbours, the Millers and the Garcias, who have confirmed they have no issue with Sunny. We are happy to provide signed statements to that effect. Please consider this matter closed. Sincerely, Brenda's reply was swift and revealed her hand entirely. She bypassed the management company and replied directly. Mr. Carter, the board does not consider signed statements from friends as valid evidence. The violation was witnessed and verified by the board president, myself. The fine stands. The decibel level and frequency of the animal's noise are a clear violation of our community's peaceful enjoyment. I suggest you invest in a bark collar, or consider rehoming the animal if you cannot control it. Brenda Shackleford, HOA President. Ben felt a cold anger settle in his stomach. This wasn't a mistake. This was a power play. The suggestion to rehome their dog was a declaration of war. Olivia was near tears. She wants us to get rid of Sunny. Over my dead body, Ben said, his voice quiet and steady. The reasonable approach had failed. Phase 2 was about to begin. The harassment escalated. Brenda began her campaign. She started taking videos from the sidewalk, zooming in on Sunny barking at a squirrel, her narration audible. Day 3 of monitoring the nuisance animal, still disrupting the community. She posted thinly veiled comments on the neighborhood Facebook group. Some residents seem to think the rules don't apply to them. A reminder that continuous noise pollution is a violation and will be treated with zero tolerance. Ben's legal training kicked in. Emotion was put aside. This was now a case, and he was building a file. He installed a high-definition security camera in their backyard, pointed to capture Sunny's entire area and the sidewalk beyond. Every interaction was recorded. Every email was archived. Every social media post was screenshotted. His key ally emerged from an unexpected place. His next-door neighbor, Mr. Garcia. A retired electrical engineer with a kind face and a strong sense of justice, he saw Brenda filming one afternoon. Ben, he said later, leaning over the fence, that woman is a piece of work. She came to my door last week, asking me to complain about Sunny. I told her I love hearing the kids play with him. It sounds like a happy family. She didn't like that, did she now? Ben said, a slow smile spreading across his face. Mr. Garcia, would you be willing to sign a notarized affidavit stating that? For you? To stick it to that woman? Absolutely. Ben now had a witness, and Brenda had attempted to solicit false testimony. The case was getting stronger. The climax arrived on a perfect Saturday afternoon. The sun was shining. Emma and her little sister Lily were in the backyard with Sunny, playing a rambunctious game of fetch. Sunny was in heaven, barking with each throw, his tail wagging furiously. Brenda saw her moment. She didn't just call the HOA hotline. She dialed 911. Ben's security camera captured it all. Brenda, standing on the public sidewalk, phone to her ear, pointing dramatically at the backyard. Yes, hello. I need to report a dangerously out of control animal, a large Labrador. It's barking aggressively, and I'm afraid it's going to jump the fence and attack someone. The children in the yard aren't safe. Yes, please send animal control immediately. 15 minutes later, a marked animal control truck pulled up. 2 officers got out. Brenda was waiting for them, a picture of concerned citizenship. Thank you for coming so quickly. It's just terrifying. It never stops. From his office window, Ben saw the truck. He felt a surge of cold, clean fury. This had moved beyond fines and harassment. She was trying to get Sunny seized. A dangerous dog designation could mean euthanasia. She had crossed a line from which there was no return. He walked outside, calm as a summer pond. Can I help you, officers? We received a report of an aggressive dog at this address, the lead officer said. Agra, that's my dog Sonny, Ben said, gesturing to the backyard where Sonny was now lying placidly, his head on Emma's lap, getting his ears scratched. As you can see, he's not currently posing a threat. He was barking and carrying on something fierce, Brenda interjected. A clear menace. Officers, Ben said, his voice even and polite. I have a security system that records audio and video of my entire backyard 24/7. I can show you the footage from the last hour, which will show my children playing with our family dog. You will hear barking, yes, the barking of a dog playing fetch. You will also see the complainant standing on the sidewalk, fabricating this story to you on the phone. Brenda's face went pale. That's an invasion of privacy. The camera is on my private property, pointed at my private property, Ben replied smoothly. It's perfectly legal. Would you like to see the footage? The animal control officers exchanged a look. They'd been down this road before with busybody. Neighbours. The lead officer nodded. That would be helpful, sir. Ben brought out his tablet and pulled up the cloud feed. He played the last hour. There were the girls laughing. There was Sonny, barking joyfully as the tennis ball flew. And there was Brenda, on her phone, her voice clear as day. A dangerously out of control animal, going to jump the fence and attack. Asterisk. The lead officer turned to Brenda, his expression stern. Ma'am, this is a very serious allegation. Filing a false report, especially one that alleges a dangerous animal, is a misdemeanor offence. This dog is clearly not aggressive. You've wasted our time and resources. Ben saw his opening. Officers, this isn't an isolated incident. This is a targeted harassment campaign by Mrs. Shackleford, who happens to be the HOA President. I have a file of emails, videos, and witness statements. I would be happy to provide a copy to your department and the county attorney's office to support a charge of filing a false report. Brenda sputtered, her entitlement crumbling into panic. This is outrageous. I was acting in the best interest of the community. He's twisting everything. But the officers were done. They issued Brenda a formal warning and left. Brenda stood, frozen on the sidewalk, her kingdom of control crumbling around her. She had finally, irrevocably, handed Ben everything he needed. The takedown was not swift, but it was methodical and absolute. Ben Carter was not a man who did things by half measures. The legal takedown. On Monday morning, Ben didn't go to his usual corporate office. He went to his firm's litigation department and opened a new file. Asterisk Carter vs. Shackleford. He wasn't just suing the HOA, he was suing Brenda Shackleford personally for defamation, intentional infliction of emotional distress, abuse of process, and malicious prosecution. The lawsuit sought $250,000 in damages. The attached evidence was a prosecutor's dream. The security footage of the false report, the emails, Mr. Garcia's affidavit, the animal control report. The professional takedown. Ben discovered something during his research. Brenda's real estate license fell under the state's Department of Professional and Occupational Regulation. He filed a formal ethics complaint, attaching the entire lawsuit and evidence. The complaint detailed how her harassment and false reporting as HOA president demonstrated a stunning lack of integrity and honesty, making her unfit to hold a real estate license. The social takedown. The final blow came at the next HOA meeting. Brenda, thinking her position was still secure, tried to gavel the meeting to order. Ben stood up. Madam President, before we begin, I have a point of order regarding your conduct and fitness to serve on this board. He then did what he did best. He presented his case. He played the security footage on the projector for the entire room to see. He read her emails aloud. He presented Mr. Garcia, who bravely stood and confirmed Brenda had tried to get him to lie. The room was dead silent, then erupted. Other families stood up, sharing their own stories of Brenda's petty tyranny. The $100 fine for a faded welcome. Matt, the threat over a non-approved birdhouse. A vote of no confidence was called for. It passed unanimously. Brenda Shackleford was removed as HOA president on the spot. Her reign of terror ended by the very community she had sought to control. The epilogue was sweet, a year later. Brenda Shackleford's world had unraveled completely. She settled Ben's lawsuit out of court for an undisclosed, but reportedly life-changing, six-figure sum. The state licensing board suspended her real estate license for 2 years for conduct unbecoming, effectively ending her career. The Shacklefords put their house up for sale and moved away. A quiet and humiliating end. The new HOA board, led by a much more reasonable member, passed a sunny rule, formally protecting the rights of residents to have pets and enjoy their properties without fear of frivolous complaints. Ben and Olivia used part of the settlement money to set up a legal defense fund for other families in their county facing predatory HOA harassment. Sunny, the vicious Labrador, became the fund's furry mascot. And on a warm evening, the sound of happy barking and children's laughter once again filled Willow Creek Estates. No longer a nuisance, but the sound of a community that had taken its power back. This is the sound of justice. This is what happens when a Karen tries to play legal games with a lawyer who knows the rules better than she does. If this story had you cheering for Ben and Sunny, hit that like button and subscribe. And tell me in the comments, have you ever had a neighbor try to weaponize the authorities against you? Coming up next week, a zoning board commissioner tries to shut down a family's home bakery, right before the health inspector finds out about her own unlicensed kitchen. You won't want to miss it. Thanks for watching HOA Stories. Remember to be kind to your neighbors, and maybe think twice before you call the cops on their dog.